With 1 day left to go, both candidates are doing everything in their power to win powerful states like Pennsylvania, Michigan, Ohio, Wisconsin, Minnesota, etc. Joe Biden himself has been campaigning, but he's going to need some help. Fortunately from him, he's getting help from one of the most powerful Democrat players alive today, Mr. Former President Barack Obama. Unfortunately, no amount of charisma from someone else will justify why Joe Biden should actually be president. And at a recent rally, they said, the Daily Mail reports, the man who could be America's next president in 3 days. Barack Obama had to call Joe Biden 3 times before he finally emerged at Michigan rally, then had to remind him to put his mask back on and help guide him off the stage. This guy might be president. My friends, Joe Biden has offered this country something real, something tangible. And I know many people might be saying, Tim, Donald Trump must win. Okay, but Donald Trump has not offered us what Joe Biden is. Joe Biden has promised to mobilize true and unashamed pressure and said that Medicare care is a right for everyone in this country. And that's something Trump can't bring us. You know why? Because Trump doesn't know what it is, and neither do I. But I'm really interested in finding out what it means to mobilize true and unashamed pressure. And I'm really interested to see what this new dang-fangled Medicare care really is. Ladies and gentlemen, Barack Obama had to help guide Joe Biden off stage. Why? Because he is a fumbly, bumbly grandpa old man. Come on. It is, look, I've seen it. It's sad. We all get old. And I mean this in no disrespect to Joe Biden, his life and his legacy. Maybe a little bit because I'm not a fan of his warmongering with Barack Obama. But you got old grandpa up on stage. He doesn't know what's going on. You got to call his name several times. And please explain to me how it is that a man who has gone up on stage and said he will mobilize Truin Inanna Shaba de Pressure is going to become president. Here's my, I'm going to say it. I'm just going to say it. If Joe Biden gets elected, it proves that we are a nation of idiots. If Donald Trump gets elected, it proves we're a nation of a-holes. That's just the way I see it. If you want to be, look, the people who vote for Donald Trump are doing it because he really is going to help this country. He really did bolster the economy, secure our borders, and bring back manufacturing jobs. Far from perfect, but man, is this guy a dick. It's true, and it shows that many people in America, not all of them, are rolling their eyes saying, okay, well, Trump is the best choice we have. But to vote for someone like that is to vote for a guy who's kind of a dick. And that's probably an understatement. But I'd rather be, you know what I said on Twitter? I'd rather be an a-hole. I'd rather vote for the a-hole than the coward. You know, and I call Joe Biden a coward because he's hiding in his basement while these riots are kicking off. But I'll tell you right now, as most of you know, Donald Trump's not even really running against Joe Biden. And that's why people would vote for him. People are running against the mainstream media. And that's the reality of it. It's the mainstream media. The things they say. As Matt Taibbi wrote today, Donald Trump is the most lying president, but the most lied about president. And I think that's a fair statement. But I got to say, you know, when they say that he's like Trump lies the most out of any president, he lies about dumb things. You know, Gad Saad, if you follow him, he's on Joe Rogan, and he's like, Donald Trump lies about like all the women love me and I come in and they're hugging me and I got the biggest, you know, whatever. You know, that's what Gad Saad said. And that's it. Trump lies about stupid things, but the media lies about important things. They are propping up a man who is just, as The Atlantic put it, corporeal form. That's what they said. The Atlantic said, stay alive, Joe Biden. We only need your corporeal form. Then why didn't you run literally anyone else? I'll take a Buttigieg. Come on. Nope. Maybe it's because they know they're going to lose and they don't want to waste a fresh-faced, up-and-coming young star on an election they can't win. But the polls are saying Donald Trump's going to lose. And there's a handful of, it is a minority of forecasts predicting a Donald Trump victory. I don't know if y'all have seen the video, but there's a really funny video of this like young woman doing an astrology reading and giving all of her reasons, like the seventh axis of Joe Biden is in eclipse, which coincides with victory, and Kamala Harris too, and her something is spiking. And then she's like, and Jupiter and Mercury are like in alignment, and that means it's going to be a revolution. I don't know what she's talking about. I don't know nothing about this astrology stuff, but I got to tell you, it makes more sense, and I mean this literally, it's more convincing than anything I've heard from any of these polls. My experience in my life, when I go around and talk to people, is people leaving the Democratic Party to join the Republicans. And these are regular people I live by. These are regular people in my neighborhood. Now, I will say, there was a Blue Lives Matter flag near where I live. And then after the debate, it was gone. The first debate, it was gone. And instead, the next door neighbor had a Biden sign put up. I wonder if that has, I wonder what that means. Maybe there really are more Democrats leaving and voting for Joe Biden, but I just can't buy it because I don't believe we're a nation of idiots. It's like, think about it this way. Joe Biden, it's my understanding, would be the first president with no coalition, with no active base. Seriously. Think about it. Every president has had their fervent base of supporters. Every president. Okay, maybe not every president, but in modern history, there were groups of people like, yes, this person is my candidate. Not Joe Biden. Sorry. It's the media versus Trump. And it's people who think I hate Trump or Trump is not that bad or I like Trump. The question is, will the hatred for Trump result in a president who can't speak English? I got to be honest with you. I will laugh, and I really mean it. If Joe Biden wins, I'm going to put my feet up and I'm going to laugh, same as I laughed in 2016 when Trump won. I am worried. I am worried because a Joe Biden victory, there's a lot of reasons to believe Joe Biden's going to win. We'll see. A Joe Biden victory would mean that we have decided our commander in chief should be an ineffective, sleepy old man who needs help getting off of a stage, misses his cue, and can't say words. I'm really excited, right? Truin Inanna Shaba DePrisure. I listened to him say that over and over again to make sure I heard, and I transcribed it. And he says, we believe that Badakath care is a right. Badakath care. Badakath care. I have no idea what these words mean, but just think about how awesome this is. Joe Biden's going to be sitting down with like Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin, and he's going to be like, eyes half closed. And then, Vladimir is going to be like, we want to place strategic nukes all over the Pacific Ocean in atoll base built by China. And then then Joe Biden's going to be like, and they're going to be like, uh-huh. And that's it. That's our leader. That's our commander in chief. True and not a Shabbat of pressure. I love it. Okay. Well, the reality is, it's not just about Joe Biden. It's about who are we really up against right now? The media. Let me show you something. I got this really great story from Politico magazine. The worst political predictions of 2016. It was another rocky year for the political sages. This is from December 28th, 2016. And I want to show you the journalists getting mocked for being wrong. Before I do, however, I want to show you Real Clear Politics. Now, Real Clear Politics is not leftist. I mean, they ran a bunch of stories defending Trump in the Ukraine scandal. And now they're running this story from Bill Scher. Biden will win. Republicans should understand why. In this story, he goes through all of the things that have changed since 2016. And they're good points. Look, people really hated Hillary Clinton, like loathed, despised Hillary Clinton. And they were still she wins the popular vote. Joe Biden's nothing. I think what we're seeing in this election is unprecedented. They want fumbly bumbly Joe. They want the old man being guided off stage. You know why? You can't get mad about it. I mean, you can be mad that our president will be incapable of functioning. Well, that's why they gave us Kamala Harris, who everyone seems to hate. But hey, better than nothing. Here's what I think they're thinking. We don't want to put up a candidate who actually has to go up against Trump. We want a paper tiger. We want a man made of straw. Not like a straw man, but like a literal, like a scarecrow. That's all Joe Biden is. A scarecrow for the Democratic Party. Ooh, don't vote for Trump. At least this guy's standing up and put on a post. The idea is, with Joe Biden running, you're not voting for him. You're voting against Trump and you're putting in nothing. Vanilla yogurt. Nothing. Now, it's really, really bad for us in a lot of ways. But what they'll do is they'll put Joe Biden in a wheelchair. They'll cart him off into the sunroom, and they'll put a little burlap bag or whatever on his lap, and he'll fall asleep and snore while the cabinet administration take care of all the duties of the presidency. And Joe Biden, the biggest concern is, will he actually make it? Beyond a first term. I'm not entirely convinced. And I want to be serious for a second. Ask anyone who has got any experience dealing with the elderly what true and Inanna Shabbat pressure and Badakath care represent. And I'm not being silly right now. I know, funny words. No, it represents the man's cognitive decline, which has been accelerating. It's one thing when the man stutters and stumbles, and they say, oh, he was fighting off a stutter since he was a kid. No, dude, he's nearing 80 years old, and he's struggling to speak. The man is not up to the task. People will tell you the rate of cognitive decline of Joe Biden seems fairly obvious. Donald Trump, whoo, that man is spry. He's doing he went to 5 states in one day or some ridiculous number like that. Is that what he did? 5 states in one day? What is this? The dude has got more energy than I do. Well, maybe not more than me, but a lot of people. I work 16-hour days, so it's probably unfair for me to claim Trump has more energy than I do, but comparable to say the least. Or maybe, I get tired. This dude seems to be, I don't know if Trump's on uppers or what's he doing, but man, the guy's got energy. Something Joe Biden does not have. Well, let me show you the story. They say Joe Biden is going to win. I've been wrong before. I will be wrong again. And maybe I'm wrong today, but we do not have any significant data to suggest Donald Trump was ever in a position to win re-election or that he is closing the campaign with any sort of momentum needed for a come from behind victory. 4 years ago, we did have that data. In the Real Clear Politics national polling average, Hillary Clinton's lead shrunk nearly 6 points between October 18th and November 3rd, before ticking up a bit at the end. Her share of support throughout the duration of the general election campaign never reached 50%, an indication of soft support. Moreover, the Trump train was clearly accelerating in those final 2 weeks. If you looked at RCP state poll averages, Clinton's Michigan lead plummeted from 10 to 3.6 points, and her Pennsylvania lead narrowed from 5.6 to 2.1. In Florida and North Carolina, Trump erased Clinton's small leads completely to become, however barely, the frontrunner. Trump also took the lead in Ohio in mid-October and never looked back. I want to point something out. We're going to see historic voter turnout, even when the economy was doing really, really well. Moody's Analytics said, if the Democrats can muster historic voter turnout, they will win by 9 electoral votes. Low information voters will vote Democrat. First-time voters. Stands to reason the Democrats have that, and you also have the COVID crisis, and there's good reason to believe the Democrats will win. Now, I'm no one's fool. I'm not going to be stupid enough to sit here and say, I know what's going to happen, because this guy certainly thinks he's brave enough to do so. It's a 50-50 shot on paper, but we don't know what the actual stats are. This guy's probably looking at the polls and saying, it's a 90% chance I'm right. I'm gonna fire it. I'm going to take a shot. Maybe he's right. I'm not playing that game. I am not so sure. You know why? Because we know from 2016 the mistakes they've made. We have a whole list of all of the things they got wrong. So why should I be convinced that Trump is going to lose? What if Trump wins through legal disputes, technicalities? What are you going to do? Oh, I wasn't wrong. It's just Trump. No, you don't know. You have no idea what's going to happen. To be fair, 538 has said this as well, saying we don't know how legal disputes will play out, how mail-in voting disputes will play out. It looks like based on polling, Biden will win, but maybe that's why Donald Trump will win. My friends, take a look. First prediction, Hillary Clinton will be president. Frank Luntz on Twitter, November 8th, 2016. Hillary Clinton will be the next president of the United States. Frankie boy, I think you do good work for the most part, but you were wrong about that. You see, people thought they were safe. The models were forecasting a heavy Hillary win. They were wrong. Did these people learn their lesson? No. They got Florida wrong in 2018, 2 years later. I'm not playing games with y'all. I have no idea who's going to win, nor am I ever going to be stupid enough to claim Trump will win. The past several videos I've done on my main channel, I've said forecast says Trump is going to win. Here's why Trump might win. And the point is the mainstream media only gives you the forecasts for the most part showing Trump losing. And I think it's fair to point out there are legitimate forecasts and polls saying Trump is winning or can win. I believe the odds are against him, but we have the Republican surge model from CBS showing Trump winning by 9 electoral votes. The Republican surge model, I kid you not, from CBS says if Trump supporters vote, he'll win. You think Trump supporters aren't going to go out and vote? They're driving around in cars, waving flags, screaming. Sure, maybe. Maybe there'll be people who don't vote for whatever reason. If Trump supporters show up on election day, he wins. Now, we don't know what's going to happen because of mail-in voting. There's an indeterminate amount of mail-in ballots that could appear randomly after the election. Trump's going to probably fight those. We'll see what happens. Here's the next prediction. Trump won't be the Republican nominee. Dana Milbank, The Washington Post, October 2nd, 2015, quote, "I'm so certain Trump won't win the nomination that I'll eat my words if he does. Literally. The day Trump clinches the nomination, I will eat the page on which this column is printed in Sunday's Post." Yikes, that was a bad one. See, I'm not going to do that. A lot of people are like, "I'll eat my head if I do this." No, because you're going to have to do it. I can't see the future. I am not the smartest person in the world. I'm some dude reading the news. And I'll tell you this, I can't give you a definitive conclusion. You'd think I should be able to look at the polls and say, Trump will lose, just like this guy will. Trump will lose. I can't tell you that. I can't. I have no idea. But I'm pretty sure that if Trump wins, someone will take a clip from that I just said and play it and be like, aha, look, Tim said Trump was going to lose. He's wrong. No, I have no idea. I look at these polls and then I see the uncertainty and the fear in the eyes of the pollsters saying, but wait, we're saying Trump could still win. We have no idea. They have no idea, do they? Well, I don't know if she ever actually eating. In May, Milbank came through on his promise in what may have been the least humble way. He sought the assistance of readers, acclaimed chefs and food critics to make swallowing literal newsprint the most enjoyable it could be. Did he really do that? What is this story from the Washington Post? Did he really? He really? Bravo, good sir. Dana Milbank literally cooked the page of his story and ate his own words. Now, I have to say, they're saying it's the least humble way because he prepared a meal based on his own words. No. This is, in fact, I believe, the most respectful. Think about it. Of course, everybody wanted him just eat a raw piece of paper. No. I like that he put the work into it. This is amazing. Look at this guy. He put on the apron. He had a chef come in. They prepared. He went above and beyond as far as I'm concerned. That was awesome. Good job, Dana Milbank, eating your words because you were wrong. Bill Kristol said, "There will be an independent candidate, an impressive one with a strong team and a real chance." I don't think that was the worst prediction. I think Gary Johnson made some mistakes, but he was polling really well in some polls. Like, I think he was over 5% in several polls. His average dropped down to around 4 or so. So maybe it's a bad prediction. But it's some of the best third party we've seen for a long time. The Republican National Convention will be contested, said John Kasich. Nobody's going to have the delegates they need going to the convention. Everyone will fall short. That was wrong. Women will form a firewall for Clinton against Trump. From the Washington Post, Daily 202. College-educated white women are Hillary Clinton's firewall. Wrong. Red states will go blue. Kyle Kondik, Politico Magazine, November 3rd, 2015. Carson and Trump, through their lack of experience and long histories of overheated rhetoric, could even prompt a wholesale rejection of the Republicans in certain districts down the ticket, effectively making 2016 a Democratic wave year. Quite the opposite. It's Republicans across the board. Now, I believe Republicans have let the people down. I do. They got nothing done with those 2 years. They could have funded everything. They could have done everything. They did not do it. Why? Don't ask me. Because they're rhinos and dinos. Republicans in name only, Democrats in name only. They just mess around. To be fair, Kyle said it could even prompt. Sure. But I wonder, with everyone saying right now, Democrats will take the House, they'll take the Senate, Republicans are going to lose, Trump is going to lose. Is this going to be comeuppance for Republicans? Some seem to think so. Mitch McConnell's pushing through. He pushed through Amy Coney Barrett and said, at the next election, this is going to be undone. He said sooner or later, this will be undone by the next election. So, this they can't do anything about for a very long time. Oh, they'll pack the courts, maybe. We'll see. But maybe Republicans think comeuppance is here, and they got lucky with the time they had. I don't know. Perhaps. Perhaps people don't actually vote based on who they want. They vote based on, if things are bad now, vote for someone else, which is like the stupidest thing ever. But Gallup says most people think they're doing better now. Would they want to go back to stagnation, or do they think that Joe Biden can maintain the economy as it is today? I think Joe Biden's going to be a nightmare for this country in a lot of ways. Prediction. Hillary Clinton will defeat Bernie Sanders in the Michigan Democratic primary in a landslide. 538. Oh, Nate Silver. March 7th, 2016. Hillary Clinton has got a greater than 99% chance of winning the Michigan primary. You see, we talk about things being wrong. When we talk about the polls being wrong in 2016, what people don't realize is all of the polls they got wrong before and after. This was one of the biggest blunders 538 could have ever had. They say it should have been a warning sign for the Clinton campaign and for the data gurus when not a single poll in the entire state of Michigan had Bernie Sanders trailing by less than 5 points. But heading into March 8th, Team Clinton as well as the pundits nationwide were confident Michigan would stay in Hillary's camp, thanks to her solid debate performance in Flint and her stronghold of African-American support. And yet the Democratic Socialist from Vermont, bolstered by a record-high youth vote and impressive turnout of independents, pulled off a surprising upset that gave a burst of new life to his trailing primary campaign. Bernie Sanders won Michigan. That's right. Merrick Garland will be confirmed. Harry Reid, March 17th, 2016. I'm confident he is going to get approval. Well, that was wrong. The United Kingdom won't vote to leave the EU. Matthew Shaddock, International Business Times. That's right. These were all major failures. And this article is from 2016. Major failures. So, good sirs of Real Clear Politics, while I believe you've got a lot of data backing up your claims, I think the fundamental changes of internet communications, COVID, the unemployment rate, the mass exodus from major cities, and the secret Trump voter, which I know for a fact exists, are skewing your polls in such a way it may be a magnificent bit of karmic justice for all of these people who think they're smarter and better than everyone else to realize you're wrong. Now, that happened in 2016. Maybe lightning won't strike twice, or maybe we're confused. Maybe it's not lightning striking twice. Maybe it's that the high tide is finally coming in, the waters are rising, and only now are we going to check to see where the level is at. Not that it was a rare occurrence, but that it was entirely predictable. The secret Trump voter exists because I know many of them. People who say they're terrified to speak up. People who tell me don't let anyone know that I'm supporting Trump. They are. I have celebrities who have messaged me on Twitter saying that they are terrified. If anyone finds out, they will lose all their endorsements. No joke. You think a celebrity who's got endorsements from, these clothing companies, Gucci and whatever, and these music producers, you think they're going to keep their job if they come out? No way. Now, it's terrifying, actually, because if these people did come out and say, you have to vote for Trump, they may risk everything, but they also risk winning everything. That's the important point. Maybe you lose your job, but maybe you will finally be able to call out to your supporters and fans and tell them to do the right thing. I implore all of those celebrities who have followed me to come out now and publicly endorse the president if you believe in him, and tell your supporters to vote for him. If you really think, and I know many of you do because you've messaged me saying Trump must win. If he must win, then you must come out and put yourself on the line to stand up for what you believe in and encourage others to be as courageous as you are. I already voted for Trump and the Republicans. It's time for you all to come out and say the same thing and stop being scared. Because if you truly were worried about a Biden presidency, then you would do what you had to do to make sure Trump won, even if it means risks to your career. You need to come out and you need to use your voice, be it large or small, to tell others you have to vote for Trump. Otherwise, he'll lose. And I want you to remember this as we're entering now the final stretch. I want you to imagine 1 month from now, 1 year from now, what the world may look like with everything you've seen. And I want you to then publicly admit that you could have done more and you chose not to because you were scared. I assure you that is a future you do not want to experience. At the very least, you may risk everything, but speaking up now, the most important thing you can do, you will never regret. It may come down to really awful times in the future, and Trump may still lose. At least that's what they're saying. But maybe if a wave of celebrities and high-profile individuals and activists and musicians and skateboarders came out right now and said, vote Trump, things would change dramatically. Maybe. I got more segments for you later today. Next one's coming up at 4 p.m. over at youtube.com/Timcast. It is a different channel from this one. It's my main channel. Thanks for hanging out, and I will see you all there.